Assalamualaikum. My name is Nordanya binti Yusri. Today I will give a speech about how childhood trauma affects on adulthood. Many people believe that childhood trauma fades as we grow older, but the reality is far more complex. Experiences such as loss, abuse, or frightening events in early life can shape the way a person thinks, feels, and behaves long into adulthood. Thomas O'Connor, director of the Wayne Center for Family Research at the University of Rochester Medical Center, and Christian Holder, UR Medicine's clinic director of the HEAL Collaborative, has made a research about how childhood trauma affects both the brain and the body in ways that can influence a person's relationships, emotional responses, and daily functioning. From this speech, I will give a better understanding on how trauma works and how it differs from conditions like PTSD is essential, because its effects often persist silently into adulthood. So, let's start by acknowledging the difference between trauma and PTSD. Trauma is a person who fears for their own safety or the safety of a loved one. It can be anything from a loss of a parent, to experiencing or witnessing an assault, to being in a car accident. Trauma can lead to PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a condition that requires professional treatment. There are 5 keys to PTSD that a person has difficulty doing the day-to-day things that they had done prior to a traumatic event. First is interpersonal difficulties. It is caused by result of disordered attachment and modeling of relationships. When abuse occurs within the family or in another trusted group of adults, the trauma is compounded by betrayal of trust. These effect symptoms may be more predominant at important life events such as marriage, pregnancy, and childbirth. Symptoms are more likely to be severe, and survivors often lose their capacity to detect unsafe behaviors into adulthood. For this reason, they are more likely to stay in unsafe relationships. Second is memory fragmentation. Caused by when trauma occurs in childhood, the flashbacks may well be experienced as a flood of emotion, disconnected from the narrative in which the trauma originally arose. These affect survivors may struggle to identify triggers, and so may misinterpret re-experiencing as panic attacks or hallucinations. Re-experiencing may be predominantly emotional or somatic. Avoidance of the feelings or sensations may create a sense of being disembodied or distant from the experience. Third is avoidance or disassociate. This is caused by intense somatic and emotional symptoms, and a sense of loss of control over these sensations are understandably feelings that the person often seeks to avoid. This affects at an unconscious level. The person may not be able to identify the emotional distress occurring and may report dissociative symptoms. There is high comorbidity with complex PTSD and substance use, and there is evidence for managing the complex PTSD and substance use concurrently. The person may seek to avoid the pleasant experiences by rerouting their sense of chaos to something they feel they can control. Alternatively, they may redirect to productive actions and may be extremely successful in other aspects of life. Avoidance may be the only defense the person has developed to cope with the unpleasant experience that they have had. Lastly, is a sense of shame. This, usually caused by a healthy sense of self, is established early in childhood and developed through constant reinforcement by significant attachment figures in a child's life. If a child is abused at a young age, they tend to believe they deserve it. This effect may be reinforced if the abuser implies the trauma is the child's fault or the child is not believed by other family members. This pervasive sense of shame can be difficult to shift. It is not unusual for a survivor to be valued, successful, and respected, but still carry a deep burden of shame. That's all I have from my speech. I hope this speech has given a better understanding on how childhood trauma is a serious issue, as it can lead to long-lasting effects on people later in their lives. For those who are affected by these experiences, just know you are cared, matter, and important. Do not keep silent and seek help from friends and loved ones or to a professional. Thank you.